Welcome back to day 5 of 10 riffs in 10 days. Today I'm being tortured by some Archspire. When I put out the call to see what riffs I should cover in this series, I figured I'd get some tough ones, and of course there had to be some Archspire. So let's take a closer look at this insane section of the song Golden Mouth of Ruin. From a rhythmic and harmonic perspective, this is actually pretty simple. It's just ridiculously fast. I'm playing Dean's part here, but basically everyone in the band is just shredding their own part, which is nuts. I love that Archspire just lean all the way into the over-the-top nature of tech death, and it works great. I'm actually a big tech death fan, and it's fun to learn these kind of super ballsy riffs. I'm playing this on a 7-string in drop A. I know Dean uses 8 strings, but this section doesn't go down to that low string. I'm going to show you Dean's part and talk about some of the theory involved there, but I should mention what Toby is doing here as well. Toby's playing this tapping pattern. Which honestly isn't that insane of a pattern, it's just played at ridiculous speeds. It's sextuplets at 175 beats per minute, which is absolutely nuts, and I honestly can't even play it that fast. It's part of the reason I'm doing Dean's part. And this is really just following the chord progression, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but let's see how fast I can do it. Not too bad. This is all in 4/4 and it's 16 bars long, a very standard phrase length. Harmonically, this is all coming from E harmonic minor. Here's the beginning of Dean's part. All that's happening through this section harmonically is a 1-5 move in E minor to B major or B7. And that B is in first inversion, so the third is in the bass, D sharp. So you have E minor to B over D sharp. And there are some variations to this that happen based on what Dean plays, but that's the core of this whole section, that move a half step down in the bass. Dean is following this progression in the first few bars of his part. And this moves a half step down with the progression. And there's some added notes to these arpeggios. You have a C on the E minor chord, and an A sharp on the B chord. And these are just embellishments of these chords, done I think mostly from a technical perspective to make this easier to play. It's going by so fast that I don't think these notes are adding to the sound. You're still hearing that 1-5 progression as the core progression. And it continues from here with some higher shapes. This one is almost more like a C major 7. So maybe it's implying like a C over E type of sound. But I'm still hearing it as E minor, especially based on what Toby's playing. Which is basically just a straight E minor arpeggio. On the last bar of the first half of this riff, Dean is playing a diminished 7th arpeggio. These are very common in metal, especially in tech death. Diminished 7ths are built by stacking minor third intervals on top of each other or the distance of 3 frets on the guitar. And this arpeggio occurs naturally in the harmonic minor scale built off the 7th degree D sharp in this case. So what you have here is the classic Yngwie Malmsteen trick of playing a diminished arpeggio over the major 5 chord in a minor key. So that B over D sharp sound is still there, but the diminished arpeggio is playing over top of it. Here's the whole first half of this riff slowly. I'm alternate picking everything except for that last diminished run, which was honestly the hardest part of this whole riff for me to play. Dean may be doing some hammer-ons and pull-offs here or there as well. Honestly, with stuff this technical, I usually gravitate towards whatever technique will allow me to play it the cleanest. The second half of the riff is up an octave from the beginning. I'm playing it off the E string, but I believe Dean's playing it off the A string based on the one live video I saw. It's just a little easier for me here. But I'll include both on the tabs. And then it's some diminished 7th arpeggios, more diminished 7th arpeggios. Which Dean would play here. Then it goes to this shape. This is an A minor 6 arpeggio, playing over that E minor bass. And then the whole band comes together on these low notes. This is pretty fun. It goes from 16th notes to 8th note triplets to 8th notes to quarter note triplets. So every 2 beats there are less notes. 8, then 6, then 4, and then 3. It almost gives the illusion of the tempo slowing down, not all that different from what happened in the Haken riff I covered a few days ago. Honestly, only Archspire could do something like this and not have it sound cheesy, and that's because they know exactly who they are and what their sound is. So here's this entire section played slowly, at least how I'm playing it. I will include a version at the end with the fingerings that Dean is using, but this is what I'm doing. Now, I didn't really get this as clean as I would have liked to. This kind of playing isn't something I do a lot these days, but it was a fun challenge. What do you all think of Tech Death and Archspire? Are you fans? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all tomorrow for day 6 of 10 riffs in 10 days. Till then, stay proggy.